Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Puff Drink Talk podcast. I am Hilton.
I'm George.
And I'm Arthur.
Yeah, we have a guest. We are short a member, too, I should say, because Dylan has disappeared. But we are short. Conrad is on vacation.
Yeah, he's in Brazil. Shout out to Conrad in Brazil, Porto Alegre.
And I'm texting him like, man, you're not gonna come? You know what's going on? And then Joe's like, Hilton, he's in Brazil. And I was like, oh shit. And yeah, he did say he was going on vacation, and I completely forgot. So, but we have a guest over here, so feel privileged because it's three Brazilians talking in a different language that we normally would. Because we are speaking English.
Another milestone for the Puff Drink Talk.
Oh, yeah. Three Brazilians speaking English so that you all can understand what we say, unless you'd have to have some sort of translation and subtitles there.
I can't promise I will have to throw some Brazilian jargons during this event, but yeah, I will try my best.
I'll let George lead introducing our guest over here.
Sure.
He has a very close connection with.
Yeah, I think few people in the world would know, at this point, right? At least for this point, would know more about Arthur than I do. You know, he was a student, and when he was in Brazil, he helped me. He worked with me, right? So. We have a lot of connections. Now he is my pickleball partner, right? So, and I'm very proud of you, man. Arthur, he recently graduated. I will let him speak. The microphone is yours, man.
Nice. Thanks, George. Yeah, I really appreciate it. So my connection with him is basically I started being a student, and then we started working together when I was back in Brazil, and now we're basically like buddies, as he said. So I would say he's probably one of the people who knows me the better and at this point in life. So yeah, it's pretty good. And yeah, so as he was saying, I graduated from Augustana College, basically biology on a pre-med track. So
where is it? Which state is that?
Illinois.
Illinois.
It's in Rock Island, Illinois. So very close to the border with Iowa. So like 2 hours and a half west of Chicago.
True middle west of America.
Yeah,
true
Midwest.
real.
Yeah. Really
deep,
Midwest.
Deep
Midwest.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Can you drive? Could you rent a truck and just drive through the cornfields like movies and stuff?
It's gotta be a sport there.
Oh, yeah.
I've thought of it, and like I've never done it. So yeah, I'm scared, but
yeah.
I've heard a lot of stories of like guys taking people to the middle of the cornfields, like initiations to fraternities and all that.
Cool.
So
that happened, huh?
Yeah, that happens. Yeah,
that's
I've heard
the
a lot
ugly
of
people,
stories.
not the good, not the bad, the ugly. The ugly of the middle of the true Middle West, right?
Man, that would be fun. I mean, not the initiation thing. I mean, fraternity is just fraternity. Like it's just like it's almost like in Brazil when we go through university, like the
O trote.
Yeah, with like they give you chores to do or things like that.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest difference between what we have to do in Brazil and here is that like in Brazil we kind of don't have a choice, and here like you can be out of Greek life. Like I wasn't on Greek life. I didn't do anything for Greek life, so you have kind of a choice. And also one of the nicest parts of Greek life is the fact that you have a lot of possibilities. So you could be like a very academic guy and wanna go out, like to a fraternity that wants to study or like wants to do meetings at the library. Like that's a fraternity.
Yeah.
Like I know we associate a lot of fraternities with parties and drinking, and and that's not true. You have fraternities like the fraternity most of my friends were at basically was formed from the tennis team. So it's known for being like initiated by the tennis team. So you have a lot of different ones, Then you have the ones that are going to be out drinking. You have the ones that are going to be just studying or like having something in common. So
The tribes.
Yeah.
It's very tribal.
Yeah. it's a really nice experience, I would say.
If I'm not mistaken, Dylan's fraternity is the same as Bush.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, I
Because he
think so.
was. Did they study in the same college or something?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Did they?
And
Oh.
he was part of the same fraternity.
Okay.
Of course, years
Right.
earlier, but it's the same fraternity. It's being, and because I asked him like, oh, who's a famous person, and then he mentioned that. So it's even like he would potentially be on the same kind of group text and whatnot, but the directory of the
Yeah.
fraternity, right? But no, but once the person becomes like a famous person, and then they kind of, they kind of remove themselves just because you can't have people having your personal.
And you're pulling too much attraction
Yeah,
and media
yeah, exactly.
and exposition, right? To the.
Yeah.
But Arthur, let me get a segue from what you said here. You said tennis. What does exactly that mean? Tell us a little bit more about the team, because you mentioned tennis two or three times.
So I'm on the tennis team. I was on the varsity tennis team, men's tennis team of Augustana for 4 years. And
What is that? What kind of competition were you involved with?
so intercollegiate. So basically, we were playing against other colleges. And what happens? We are in the CCYW, which is like one of the Midwest conferences. And what we do, we play the whole season. So we play the regular season, and after the regular season, we have some kind of a playoff. So pretty close to what the NBA works. And after the playoffs, the winner of the conference is gonna go to the nationals.
Okay, just to clarify, is that NCAA?
Yeah, that's NCAA. I'm on Division III.
Division III NCAA. So we have we have here an academic, athlete. That's what it is, and this is part
You
of.
see how proud George is
I am.
right now? It's beautiful.
I am, because I want to talk.
love
Yeah, it's a
that.
bromance, man. It's a bromance because I want to talk about one specific topic. How did you manage? How do you balance the social life, the cultural clash, with balancing with keeping in shape, participating in a high level college competition, and keep your grades? And you're going to talk about this because we have to talk about this later, how good your scores were. But it's for us, for our second episode or a different episode. But so how did you balance all this academic life?
It's hard. Like, I'm not gonna say it's easy. Like, first you talked about like the cultural adaptation, and I'm not gonna say it's easy being away from the family, be away from all your friends. Like, most of my friends I've had like for 10, 15 years. So since I was like in probably 5th or 6th grade, I have the same group of 10 friends. So we're like really close together. So it's really hard to be far away from them. So that was definitely it is a hard time. Like, in the beginning, trying to make friends and understanding how America works and all that. But talking about like adapting to tennis, like, I would say it was hard because I had like to do a lot of I feel I had to schedule myself really well. Like, I had to understand when was the time to study, when was the time to have my social life, when was the time to be at practice. Like, that's the biggest thing I feel for me. It's like organization. That's the biggest word. Like, if you want to do well and succeed in college, you got to be organized. Because otherwise, something is going to go wrong. Because I feel I've seen a lot of friends that, like, study a lot and they get overwhelmed. So you cannot do that. You cannot, like, just study and not have a social life, because you're going to go crazy. But at
Study hard, party hard.
Yeah. And also,
party
like,
decently hard.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, you gotta have some fun. You're in college, like,
Yeah.
you gotta be out there. You gotta be like living your life. Like,
Building your network.
Yeah,
Building your new friends.
I
Yeah,
was
exactly.
just going to mention that because it is, in the end of the day, it is networking, isn't it? So you gotta have that social interaction with people, because and then you know for a fact that you're building up connections for the future. So that's what people talk about, like going through college and stuff. It's not only learning something, but also kind of getting to know other people.
yeah, it's a lot of like social skills.
Yeah.
You gotta create your network. You gotta like start thinking about working, like making connections, and like thinking about future jobs, talking to professors. I feel that was like one of the biggest shocks I had, was the fact that like in Brazil, you guys can talk about it because you guys went to college in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
So one of the biggest shocks I had is that in Brazil, we're not used to talking to professors. Like, at least in my mind, we would not be like super close or like go to office hours and all that. And one of my first semesters in college, I had a problem with a class, and my advisor told me, go talk to the professor. And that's what I did, and it helped me. Like, and I was like, I've never thought of it before. Like, in my mind, I would never go into the professor. I would just like deal with it on my own. And I feel like the support
Tough it
group.
out. You tough it out instead of anything else. But then you can go and then talk.
Power through. No need to power through. You got to support. I like that.
Yep.
I like that. Buddy, tell me the lowest and the highest point of your 4 years after graduating.
The lowest and the highest point? Oh my god, that's hard. Do you want to keep it academically, or do you want to keep like the whole life?
I think you should. I think you should. You should share what you know, like what you think is shareable. And I don't want to intrude. I just want to make sure that you have a voice. If you don't want to expose anything that you shouldn't, I don't think you should. I'm just saying that, just something that you see. Oh, that was low. That was low for me. That was high for me.
Yeah, I would say like the lowest experience for sure was before doing last year, when I had to do the MCAT and I haven't done it because I was not focused enough. So when I was talking about organization, I felt that like I didn't organize myself well enough at that point. So I was too focused on my social life and focus on school and not focus on the MCAT, which is like a big part if I want to go to med school. So that was probably my lowest part, because I just felt like I should have put more effort into it, and I felt like kind of disappointed with myself, because I know I had the capacity of doing it, and I just like chose to do something else. So I kind of regret it. Mm-hmm. And the highest point I would say for sure would be graduation. It's just like amazing to be there and like say that you're done with it, and have the feeling that you're like, okay, I concluded it. I'm done. I'm finished. Or at least like I was able to survive the 4 years and get like a good GPA and all that. So
the thing is, it's never finished, right? It's never finished. So it's the journey has just begun, you know? So it's even because like the journey has just begun, right? Mm-hmm. Because now it's a non-stop learning and using the knowledge that you have. But that's very interesting. So I would like to know, it's like on like being 4 years, right? You mentioned so being like for 4 years, and also like playing tennis, and how is the sport, and is there a different? Did you see any difference between the students that are not playing any sports to the students that are playing sports and performing well? Is there a difference in image among the other students, or no?
And how integral is, just to go in, how integral is these sports in academic life? Just to
I feel there is like a difference. I feel the biggest difference for me that I felt was that I could see that most athletes were like they were very like applied, so they had to put a lot of effort into it, and I felt like we could see the effort coming in. So that was like a nice part. But at the same time, I'm gonna say that I could relate the fact that most athletes would also like have the lowest grades, if that makes sense. You know, like I don't want to generalize here, because I know a lot of people, like the guy that the athlete that graduated with me and had the best GPA of all athletes that graduated, he was like one of the best swimmers on the team, and he got like a really good GPA. So I'm not saying that all athletes are like lazy or they don't study or their academic part is bad, but looking for my teammates, and I don't want to talk bad about them and all that, but like I know that they were like focused a lot on the sport, which is hard because you were practicing like 3-4 hours a day. So if you think 3-4 hours, then you have 4 hours of classes.
Gym,
That's
recovering.
8 hours. Yeah, so then you have 1 hour of gym. That's 9 hours. Then you got to have, 1 hour of studying. That's 10 hours. Like, you have 14 hours left. If you want to sleep 8-9 hours,
Which is
you have 3-4 hours left of your day to actually, like, be sociable.
Eat.
Like, eat. Like take a shower, do other things like
Commute
walk on
all the time
campus.
inside.
Yeah, because you have walk 10-15 minutes all the time on campus. So it's a hard life.
Athletes are never lazy. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly,
Because
yeah.
how can an athlete be lazy?
It's not about being lazy.
when they're like
I agree.
performing at a high standard, because college athletes are a beast. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's and again, young, lots of stamina, right? So it's a really good thing to see when you see them playing. So
If you allow me, just compliment here. I think you've seen that in the I work with academic preparation, right? So I see that the students who also play tennis, they tend to have lower grades because they have to travel. Some of my clients now are in Turkey. Some of them are in Peru. Some of them are in the Caribbean. Right now, at this moment, we have to manage and this crazy schedules. I have one that lives in Portugal, right? So we got in many different places in the world right now. It was only 1 or 2 states. Now we have people are ever going everywhere. So man, that takes a toll. It's a 15-year-old kid who is traveling to Porto, Lisboa, then Spain, and then and they have to fit in the school into there. There's so many things you have to do in your day to day.
And not only that, I would add, like, then from my experience, the amount of times we had to travel at 5 a.m. on a Sunday, it's insane. So just imagine, Saturday it's the biggest day for college students if you want to go out. So imagine you're a college student, you want to go out, you want to have some fun, you want to live your life, and at the same time you got to wake up 5 a.m. in the next day and have like a big important meet. Like, that's hard. That's tough. You got to like prioritize. And then you're thinking, I want to enjoy my life, but I also want to be a good tennis player. And besides from that, we would like travel 3-4 hours in the car, and you have to choose between sleeping because you woke up at 5 a.m. or studying because you got to do your homework, you got to study for the exam that you had the next day. So it's tough. It's hard to be at the van and being like, okay, I got to do this. But you don't want to. Like, I remember one time we had like a 6-hour drive, and I was tired. We had to wake up early, and I had a lot of schoolwork to do. I just downloaded a Netflix movie and I watched the whole way instead of like doing my work because it's so hard. It's a small van. It's not a big van. We're a D3 school, so we don't have the glamour. We're not like D1 football that has like a plane for themselves or all that. So it's hard. It's tough. It's a tough life. It's not easy.
One thing is, like, I see corporations doing, right? So like corporate America, they normally get one person to be dedicated to do one thing, right? Just because if you try to make a person do multiple things, it's kind of going to be underperformance, and then it might make mistakes and whatnot. Like if you go and see in a hospital, and then you have the heart surgeon, and then you have the liver surgeon, and then you have different, surgeons for different specialties, right? Mm-hmm. Just because, hey, if you are focused on one thing and then you do that one thing only, you're gonna perform the best at it. College students, they gotta perform in college, in sport, if they choose so, or in also extra academical studies, because if they wanna pursue like an MBA and a doctorate, right?
Yep.
So it is hard because it's like you're always having to do 2 things at least,
You know what? And it builds character. It builds grit. You have to do. Not all universities, as you just mentioned. Usually, D3s will give you even more chances for you to balance your academic life versus your athletic life. Supposed to. Some universities do. Some universities they claim they do, but actually the competition is there. It doesn't, no matter what. So I think it makes you think. Okay, I work really hard in order to get here, right? So we are gonna explore a little bit more in our next, more episodes, Arthur, with you. There are so many other things we want to know. And I like it also how frank he is, like he's not coming here selling himself, the perfect athlete, the perfect student, I want to explore this, man, at this, what you learn in the process at an early age, which is very important. You make the mistakes now, you know how to recover from them, and you are doing really well on this. So I don't care how many times you fall, if you rise, if you wake up, if you just get up and keep fighting and you get better because of that in all fronts, I am up to that. So that's it.
I want to say congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. Congratulations on getting through that. And then I saw some short videos that George sent from your graduation.
Yes.
Congratulations, man. It's huge. Now the world is an oyster, right? And you're a little pearl in it.
Yep.
So now you're just gonna have to make it shine in somebody's neck or ear, or I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's wrap it up this episode. Thank you very much for coming and then staying
you.
with us here.
Yeah.
And we are going to have you multiple times in Puff Drink Talk podcast.
Yes, sure.
And
Thanks, man.
please comment, subscribe, share with your friends.
And follow us on
Spotify. On Spotify. That's a good reminder there. See you next time.
See ya.
See you guys.